Welcome to my presentation. I'm Jackie. I'm so excited to have so many people in this room being interested in my talk. I hope I can fit your expectations, and I would like to introduce some facts about creativity and clean code, and I would like to find a solution how these can be connected. I'm a researcher, teacher, and visionist, and I have many experiences as a front-end developer, app-end developer, and data scientist. So about me, what is my passion for creativity? I like to dance, I like to learn choreographies, I like to do sports, and also to practice music and to sing and write songs and poems, and also to paint a lot. My life motto is no is not an option. Everything is possible if you can imagine it. To give you some insights, these are some paintings that I painted recently. And now I would like to talk more about my life and challenges as a developer. So the first thing that I'm experiencing a lot is that clients or customers always believe that MVP is their own viable product, which makes it quite hard as a developer to fit those expectations, since to my point of view, the definition of MVP is a rather minimal viable product, which should have the lowest amount of features to be able to be on productive mode, to be run on productive mode. So that is the first challenge. The second challenge is, given some experiences, the fast-changing world makes me sometimes self-doubting. I studied medical informatics, then did my master's degree in data science, and worked some years as consultant. But the world is so fast-changing, and sometimes I feel a bit lonely and alone and overwhelmed by the customers' ideas and wishes. So I also try to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you provide customers with good software, they always want more and more. Maybe it's some kind of natural of humans. So at that point, I would like to introduce a friend or a personification of Mr. Clean Code. It's a metaphor, actually, for the book, which has the same name, written by Robert C. Martin in the year 2009. And I think it's a quite very useful book. But you should keep some things in your mind when you read it and when you put it into practice, which I want to talk about later also. So, to my point of view, the most important key takeaways from this book is you should use, for example, the template method or strategy to avoid duplication, to also keep things quite easy and simple, stupid, and also to practice abstraction. I think, as I'm a very practical person and I see so many ideas when I have a given problem, but the thing is I have to also think about abstraction. And that's what I would like to also give to you by saying this. You should always think how easy can this problem be solved and not spending too much time. And also when building software, building a program, each build should only include one step. And also the tests, they should require only one command to be executed. For example, given a test suite, including 100 tests, you could execute them each single one after another, but it would cost you a lot of time and in the end money. So To conclude or to summarize the main points of Clean Code, it's more a set of heuristics, a value system, which enables you to evaluate your own code, whether it's good or not good, and maybe give it marks like in school. And you should also keep in mind when you develop things, you should give it to other developers for review and let them check for these heuristics given in Clean Code. Furthermore, Robert is saying that it's not written by following a set of rules. It's rather about automizing these heuristics and practicing it all day. When you think of your ideas and your problem solutions, you should always keep in mind how could that be solved in a clean code way. So it's kind of learning also a language. And the last point, professionalism and craftsmanship, software craftsmanship. Both of these come from values that drive discipline. So it needs repetition, and it's not only done by 1 week reading that book, finishing it, and then lying it down in the edge of your room. It's rather repeating all the contents and automizing it, keeping that in mind. So that's what driving discipline means. So on the other hand, there is Miss Creativity. She's a metaphor for many things that I would like to show you now. So at first, I asked my friend ChatGPT who are the most important or creative people in the world. And of course, this is a very limited answer, since it's trained on a very limited data set, and there are, of course, in this room so many other creative people. But to mention, for example, J.K. Rowling or Vincent van Gogh are examples of creative people. So I would like to grab some of these examples and to give you some inspiration, which are also related to creativity. On the left-hand side, you can see Leonardo da Vinci. The most important quote I think about simplicity, he's saying that it's the ultimate sophistication. It's the same as Robert Martin told, you should keep everything quite simple and stupid. And also, what he's saying about time is very important to me, and I think you should also keep that in mind, that it stays long enough for anyone who will use it. Imagine you're sitting in a conference or in a meeting that is taking 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, like estimation meetings, where you can't see the end of the meeting and you're just looking at the clock and want to eat something. But this is not time that is well used, to my point of view. So Leonardo da Vinci lived hundreds of years ago, and he already saw that you're capable of reaching every goal that you want to reach, but you have to use your time in the right way. And also, it's depending on your perception, what you know. So if you, for example, make experiences, good ones or bad ones, and you want to learn something, you're always influenced by your experiences. If you feel hate or if you feel happiness, it's very distinct. And that leads me to the second person in the center, Albert Einstein. He's saying that problem solving can't be done by the same level of consciousness. So imagine there's a doctor or physician in the clinic and he tries to save some patient data in the system. So he wants to save it and it's not possible. There's no error message, nothing. He also fears quitting the system because he doesn't know whether the data will be stored or not. And then he tells it me. And I know, okay, there must be either an internet connection problem or a database problem. So any kind of data storage problem should there be. And that was, I immediately thought of the solution because I have a different level of consciousness than him. And that's also important to keep in mind. Always change the perspective that you are in and try to see it from another point of view. And in the end, Mr. Steve Jobs, you can see on the right-hand side, he also said something very important about creative people. They just see things. Like I told you before, the example of the saving the patient. I didn't see the actual problem, but I had in mind the solution. So I just saw something, and that's because I connected the things. I had made some similar experiences in the past, and now I knew, okay, that could be the solution to maybe 50 or 60, 70%. And it's also about understanding the human experiences. The better you understand it, the better design you will have. And not only design, it's also about software development. So as you can see here, on the left-hand side, you only have 2 yellow bubbles, 2 points. But if you connect these dots, you are able to mix them to create new colors and to create patterns from that, and to see the patterns. So digging a bit deeper into the neuroscientific knowledge about ideas, I was asking my own, where are my ideas coming from? So there are many scientific research, neuroscientific research on this. And we have basically a default network, which is including these 3 components. We have the prefrontal cortex, we have bilateral inferior parietal lobes, and we have the posterior cingulate cortex. All of them are about learning and memory, and also emotion, how we perceive emotion, and sensory information. And the last one is also about predicting and avoiding negative consequences. So if you feel something, you made some bad experience, you want to avoid that again. Otherwise, you may get hurt more and more. And these 3, they are connected by the hippocampus, which is also the center of the idea creation. And it's supporting our ability to remember things and also to imagine and create new things. So sometimes I feel a bit, or maybe you feel a bit also sometimes tired or sometimes worried about things or happy, but you can gain from these emotions new ideas. You just have to reflect, but be careful, don't over-reflect. So I asked myself, how can I generate more ideas? And I found a lot of studies on psychological papers or also on neuroscientific papers. To summarize, I put some facts here. So it's all about reducing stress. As I already mentioned, we are living in a very fast developing world, but the counterpart, how ideas are created, it's all by reducing stress, by feeling relaxed, and maybe you could practice yoga or something else. This is how you can increase your idea creation. So deadlines are there. We also have to develop things on certain deadlines, but we should always keep in mind that there should be at least one break, like for reducing stress, at least 15 minutes per day or twice per week. That can help, definitely. Also about physical activity. I'm a fan of physical activity breaks. So imagine you're going to lunch, you eat something, and then you walk twice around the corner or the block, and you get new ideas. It's always a phenomenon to me. After sitting for 8 or 9 hours in the same office, I get up and then I go out and go jogging or only walking. I immediately get some solutions to my mind for the problems that I've been working for 3 hours. So I'm asking me, what the hell? Why did I sit there 3 hours and only in 20 minutes I solved the problem? So we should change a bit the culture or our thinking, and we shouldn't pressure ourselves too much, maybe. In the end, also nature is very valuable, and we should keep in mind that forests and the sunlight also, artificial light is not very good, but sunlight is very good for us to relax also and to gain more energy, vitamin D and so on. And in the end, it's all about collaboration, interdisciplinary collaboration. So I gain a lot of ideas from other disciplines, biology, medicine, or physics, and so on. So we shouldn't be in our own bubble. We should always connect to other bubbles. So let me ask the final question of my talk. how can we marry both of them, Miss Creativity and Mr. Clean Code? So my own solutions from my experiences are, as I said, just get up, go out and do some sports or for a walk. And always, since ideas are coming very quickly to our mind, always write them down immediately. Otherwise, you will forget them. I believe they are there, and they are just there to be kept in mind, but you have to write them down. So the second thing is that you also keep in mind that less is more, and you shouldn't overstress or overthink things, and think of the easiest, the laziest solution for the problem. And also, it's about time boxing, not only for meetings, but also for the ideation or creative phases. So, for example, writing a song or writing a poem, you should keep in mind that if you don't repeat your ideation routine, there won't come any more ideas. Otherwise, maybe only through bad or good experiences that you make. But if you want to become a professional creative person, you should keep time boxing and a routine. And the last points are, you should also accept and tolerate outstanding ideas from others. Don't laugh at them or prejudice them at first sight. You can maybe win something with that, and you can also gain experiences from them. And I was especially experiencing also the fear of missing out, since I've having many interests that I want to practice all day long or during a week. There's not much time during a job and during healthy habits. So just focus on the moment and seize the moment. It's all about the small steps. And of course, the day has only 24 hours and we need sleep between. You should only focus on the most relevant things. And that is you and maybe your work, but also staying healthy and getting good ideas, looking forward. And as Leonardo da Vinci said, time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. So just use it in the right way. To conclude, I would like to say there are two streams, basically. So at first, being creative is one stream, and the other one is keeping the clean code heuristics. So it's good in the end, or it's maybe my wish, my intent of this talk, to maybe to parallelize them in a certain way, if it's possible. But I just wanted to show you that they are a bit different from each other, and it may be challenging parallelizing them. And secondly, when you are in software development or product development, you should maybe first write everything quickly so that it's working. But also, I'm not a big fan of writing quick and dirty things. So afterward, you should directly revise everything for clean code and for the maintainability. So in the end, it's a very individual question and topic of my talk. So just use the appropriate way of finding existing solutions or creating your new solutions as a developer. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm open for questions.